This is a story that will be left behind as a time capsule for my community and those building up communities of their own. Games have been building up communities around them for years now, and Overwatch was at the heart of mine. So this is a love letter as we say goodbye to a chapter of virtual space that on October 3rd, 2022 has come to an end. Technically.
Establishing agent connections.
It was around winter 2016 when I decided to check out Overwatch. From what I was able to recall, I believe it was the start of Season 4 that I came into it. I have faint memories that far back in the game, outside of a few scattered PlayStation recordings and patch notes, somewhere around the time when Symmetra was the best tank in the game. I say that because she had her shield barrier, a lock-on primary fire, and I just loved utilizing her to dominate attacks in Overwatch. The game was very different then. The roster was smaller, Mercy had a 5-man res, there was the car wash, Lucio couldn't wall ride backwards, Torb's turret was able to go Super Saiyan 2, and Reaper was still collecting souls and being the best Beyblade he could. It was a glorious mess of chaos, and I needed all my friends to play this. One by one, I started to see the idea that there was this game out there that might be the best competitive game that has some of the strongest team-based gameplay since the golden days of Halo, and perhaps that still remains to be true. This game had so much strategy, and my friends flocked to heroes by design at first and realized that all the skills from other shooters didn't even apply. We were trash at the game. But we began our training montage. I personally spent hours every day practicing my skill, tweaking settings, studying maps, watching tutorial after tutorial after tutorial, absorbing all the dev updates. My hyperfixation was real. Some of my friends got into it as deep as eventually I kind of became self-appointed as the shot caller, captain, coach, team organizer, if you would. And we played, and we played, and we played. And I would even go out of my way and schedule these one-on-one sessions with friends, practice tech movements, show them the basic of counterplay, define callouts, help them understand the nuances of map advantages. And our group became some of the sickest playmakers in Plat console queue. I understand doesn't say a lot in the grand scheme of things. Fast forward, we're all playing on PC now, and we're all hard stuck in gold and silver. We recruited new friends at the time. We found some of our closest friends in the Overwatch queue, and it was just an amazing fixation. It gave us some way to spend our extracurricular activities feeling a level of personal growth. But with that growth comes new plateaus. The very nature of competitive games and playing at the limits of one's skill requires so much discipline and focus. And almost constantly during these games, it was an insanely impossible task to maintain. The reality was, some of these days, it was just impossible for our friends to be on the same level. Some of our friends were working, most of them full-time, and just had life outside of Overwatch. But we kept coming back around to it. It's really, truly how we spent our time. And with these life stresses, we had very low levels of patience for one another. We got together in 6 stacks, and our communication would start to break down from the simplest of coordinated efforts. Overwatch is not an easy game. And for anybody who knows, when you play in a full stack, the matchmaker tries very hard to match you up against the full stack, and you start to get a very high level of opponents, even at the lower level of brackets. Sure, maybe bronze 6 stacks weren't going to be as good as top 500 6 stacks, but a 6 stack leaves no room for error. And even though there were days we were favored in the matchmaker and went up against pug groups, and we at least had some practice, so we had some amazing games together. We felt satisfied. We made some awesome play of the games. We executed basic coordinated attacks, grav bombs and nano boosted blades and bubbled fire barrages, things like that just felt so awesome to do. It was truly an experience unlike anything we've had in gaming. It felt good. We felt like a team. And we decided to take that to the next level. We got involved in the console gaming league, and we started playing in exhibitions and scrims and even round robin tournaments. And we went up against players even higher skilled than us and won. We were determined and were able to prove that our ranks were not hard limitations. At our best performance level, we climbed as high as Diamond, cusping Diamond. That's where I kind of got hard stuck personally, and most of my friends were like high plats. And I was even able to make fresh tanks from bronze all the way to Diamond. Eventually, we focused less on the ranks and focused more on the quality of our communications, the quality of our teamwork. We got at each other's necks a lot, but we began slowly pulling back the layers of our personality and talking about things and really developing close relationships that came from this game. We started to identify bad days. Hey, how's your day going? Are you focused today? What kind of session do you want? I started to hard code this information in my brain. I started to really take stock in the people around me, the people that I spent these hours and hours and hours with. And that's when I stopped and realized we were about to fall off a cliff, and we can't let the desire for these competitive goals diminish the value of this teamwork. And I started to reposition my focus. I started to look back at the longevity of this game and the longevity of what I wanted from this game, and it was a community. I stopped playing Overwatch on console. This was around the time COVID was hitting, and I was able to get a PC, and all of us were beginning to get PCs. Working from home became a real thing, so a few of my friends had to buy hardware to keep up with staying at home and making an income. I myself became invested more into streaming. Now, I started streaming a little bit in Overwatch days, but I was streaming for 3 years to 0 viewers. And during the time that we made this switch to PC, it was a whole new ballgame again. I was trash. I started playing Overwatch with a controller on PC. It was a terrible idea. It took me a very long time to make that adjustment. And we went to different games again. We focused around the content. We built a Discord, and all the people that we spent our time and energy with, we began to refocus that into these personal projects, these creative desires, establishing streams, and then we all began to thrive. And it was this backbone of Overwatch that is the sole reason for that. Eventually, we actually came back to play some Overwatch together again, now on PC, and now we're sitting in bronze queues, and we have all this IQ of years of knowledge, but a difficult time executing because we're all kind of new to the M&K scene. I myself took about a whole year of playing on PC before I can keep up with a higher skill level player. My good friends are still able to execute some really amazing fundamental plays. We can easily see ourselves joining Open Division and even being the worst team out there, but we have some of the most defined team vibes we have ever seen. I'm proud of that. Our community is on our way to being bigger than we could have ever imagined. We have new players coming every day. We have learned so much about what it means to be adult, to have feelings, to have stresses, and to share those with one another. And it all came down to a stupid game. And I love that. There's so many people out there playing Overwatch, and towards the end of the years, I find that it's so easy for individual players or one or two players that have played together for a long time to kind of coast down the energy and just kind of accept the fact that some games are just toxic, and some people are out there or gatekeeping and providing this elitist energy and demanding you switch, but nothing that there's so few people out there that are empathetic to the growth that comes individually. For the new players, welcoming new players, it's no one's responsibility to go out there and be a leader. But we, as a community, could be helping new players be the best at these games, welcome people in, and actually make friends. It's difficult, and it requires patience and time. And I am absolutely grateful for the time we spent playing Overwatch, because there was no game that did it like it. Games like Overwatch are not promised forever. These virtual spaces, although maybe thriving now, can be gone tomorrow. And although Overwatch went offline on October 4th, 2022, it will be rebooted with a new coat of paint. Overwatch 2 can mark the beginning of my passion for a new age, a new opportunity to welcome new players to an already established community, a team that practices patience, guidance, motivation through stress, frustration, and learning. I may be hard stuck in plat for the rest of my career in Overwatch, but there is nothing like taking L's with friends, hundreds of them, to pull off that one amazing finish. Oh my god, it's Sebastian!
Oh god. It's alright, it's alright. If you put up your shield, I could dive and possibly take him out.
I did some crazy shit.
Arista's one.
How about Sig? Sig's also one.
He's dead.
Live, love it!
Action in the left room, right here.
Here, I'm right here with you. Get him, get him.
Yeah,
nice, dude.
The Metro?
Sim.
Matter?
Look at that. Look at that. All you had to do was throw the first round. That's all you had to do, bro. See, that's positive reinforcement. Thank you so much for listening to this love letter to Overwatch. If you're joining the Overwatch 2 community and you're looking for like-minded individuals to play with, people to help teach you and get better at these games, find a place for yourself without the stresses or the toxic influence that might still exist in these environments, join our community. I personally love to play with all levels of skill. I'm always about the conversation, and when we get down into it, I'm always about pushing people beyond their limits, because I hold myself accountable to those same vibes every day. I'll take a bunch of L's today for that one win tomorrow. See you next time. Didn't you hear the memo? The second point was actually the start of the game.
Oh, so after the many years of playing with Zero, this is the one time he just wants to have
No,
fun.
it's the first round throw. Come on. Okay, always first round throw. Just get it out the way hard. Okay, if this elevator gets me one more time, I swear to crit. My fat ass got caught in this elevator 3 times. All right. Okay.
Won't lie, it's driving me crazy. 'Cause I can't be around what it means.